Oh, always wear your seatbelt, kids. Got to take care of yourselves, got to protect yourselves, and a big part of that is wearing your seatbelt. Always remember. Look at that, I'm out in front. It's time to go. Time to go. Second, revving it up. Oh, third gear, let's go. Getting way out in front. Oh yeah, you guys don't know about this little 4-cylinder. You know, it would be really fun if I could get the Honda Civic Si. Ooh boy. Get the VTEC or whatever. I don't even know. But the 6-speed transmission, the faster one, I got the cheapest one. I got the cheapest one that they make. Although there might be one with hand crank windows. I don't know about that. Do they make a hand crank Honda Civic still? This is a 2015 though. But I don't know if they made one, but besides the hand crank windows, man, this is just about the cheapest Civic you can get. Manual transmission, and I think the rest of the features are standard. I have Bluetooth and I've got the backup camera, but I think all that stuff is standard on the Hondas of 2015. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I was just listening to a podcast from Dave Smith and Robbie the Fire Bernstein. I really love both those guys, man. And I was watching the new ones today, and then I went back and saw that I was only like 15 minutes into their one on the Virginia gun rally. How did that happen? That was like big news. I was following that and everything, and like 2 of my favorite people were talking about it, and I only got 15 minutes into it before I must have got distracted by something, and I never went back to it until, you know, just now when I was about to leave work. So now I'm about halfway through it, and they're just, you know, talking about how none of it was violent. Although if you look at the mainstream media and what that creepy baby killing governor was talking about, he's never actually killed a baby, but if you remember, he was talking about babies after they were delivered, that, you know, we could have a conversation about what we were going to do with this baby on the subject of abortion. And he was talking about after the delivery of the baby, on the day of the delivery, that, like, well, you know, the baby being birthed and taking its first breaths, I mean, it's still arbitrary. You can kill that baby, whatever. I mean, whatever. It would be a conversation between the woman, the family, and the doctor. Which is just insane to me. So that's the same guy. That's the same guy who's pushing for all this gun control in Virginia. Yeah, so if anybody doesn't think the government's too big, I just would point to that very example. That guy. Has anybody seen the Lord of the Rings? How that ring gives you so much power? And so, I mean, who do you give the ring to? Who's responsible enough to handle all that power? Because it's kind of all the power. That ring is all powerful. One ring to rule them all. Well, America has kind of become one country to rule them all. We have an empire. And you can call it just military presence, making sure that everything is kosher worldwide. But when you have bases all over the world manned by soldiers, it feels a lot like an empire. Yeah, an empire by any other name is an empire, right? I don't know. So, who can you trust with all that power? Right now, Donald Trump has it. Donald Trump and of course all the other people working in the background who are up to all of their shady shenanigans. But the answer that I find to be best is exactly the one that they went to in the movie, where all of the ring was concentrated into a ring. And in our real world, all of the power is concentrated into government. And I say we take the whole damn thing to Mount Doom. You gotta destroy the ring. No one can handle that amount of power. That's the whole reason for the Second Amendment. And those people who were gathered in Virginia understand that. And I think a lot of people are getting fed up with it. And that was just a small fraction of the people who were able to take off work long enough to go and have that rally in Virginia. Where was that? In Richmond, right? I think so. Isn't Richmond the capital? And they held it right there. So just excellent, man. There's a lot of people there, and the mainstream media was talking about like, oh man, well, we just hope that it doesn't get violent, and you know, we've got credible sources telling us that there's going to be some stuff going down. It might get ugly, folks. It might get ugly, and a lot of people, like lefties on Twitter, were talking about the same thing. You know, Dave Smith said that the governor called a state of emergency. I didn't know that. Is that true? You know, I pretty much trust Dave Smith, but I didn't verify that myself. That there was a state of emergency declared about it. Very interesting. I kind of would like to go myself, but I have too many responsibilities, you know. But, and, you know, and there probably would have been a lot more people there, you know, because people like me who have responsibilities who can't show up due to those responsibilities. But I'll tell you what, man, if it comes to more than a protest, I think a lot more people than that will show up. What are they calling it? The Boogaloo? What a great word. It's hilarious. The Boogaloo. There's a group on Facebook, the Lions of Liberty Forum. And that's another really good podcast, the Lions of Liberty. And I'm in their group on Facebook, and somebody posted a meme of what was that guy's name? Oh man, the guy who Beto O'Rourke. Yeah, we're here to take your guns. I said it. Yeah, we're here. We're gonna take your guns. That guy. There was a meme about voting for him, give him the nomination, and get him into the White House instead of Trump. Vote Trump out of there and get him so that he can just start the Boogaloo. Because he'll try to take the guns and then the Boogaloo will start. Just vote for Beto. Start the Boogaloo. That was just a meme. And you know, that's obviously a horrible meme. We don't want the Boogaloo. We don't want the Boogaloo. But it's funny to call it that. It's a funny word. Boogaloo. Kind of hilarious. I better slow it down a little bit. Yeah, Beto O'Rourke. Even though his real name is Robert, I'm pretty sure, isn't it Robert? It's just like some regular white dude name. But Beto. So we got Beto O'Rourke, and then we got all the rest of them, just psychos. Are they psychos, or do they just not understand economics at all? Or they understand the economics that they were taught. But if you look into Austrian economics, every point that they make just rings the bell of truth when you hear it. Economics don't make sense when you're taught when you have it taught to you in college, because it's all these like complicated formulas and stuff, and it's just like a whole bunch of backflip gymnastics to figure out what's going to happen with the economy, and they try to predict the future. But if you go back and look at the predictions of the Austrian school of economics, they get almost everything right. Like Ron Paul calling out the because Ron Paul, he's a student of the Austrian school, and he was able to call a lot of things well in advance. I don't know if he called the housing market in particular, but he called ahead of the bubble. I can't remember exactly. I think he did. I think he did specifically name the housing market as a like credit expansionary bubble. When all of these loans are available for houses, everybody wants to buy a house. And just everybody thinks that, like, oh, it can't, the money's not going to run out. All this money flooding into the market to buy a house. It just gets out of control. I understand it when they talk about it, but I haven't mastered it to the point that I can explain it really well. And that's why I'm not done listening to it. You know, I like listening to lectures from the Mises Institute, and I recommend those to everybody. There's a Mises Boot Camp. It's 6 episodes. And I think at the beginning of the first one, they say if somebody watches all 6 of these videos, they'll know more about economics than most of the economists out there today, just by watching these 6 videos. And then, of course, you would have to understand what they're talking about. And I feel like I grasped most of it, but like I said, I haven't mastered it to the point that I can explain it well. So I just find it really interesting. I'm obviously not an economist, and I don't really want to be. But I like it. I like it as a little bit of a hobby. I follow it and listen to those economics lectures. Mises Boot Camp on YouTube. There's 6 of them. It's on a playlist from the Mises, MISES. It's a really great series on YouTube. My wife called me this morning, or not even this morning, but earlier today, because it's only 2 o'clock, so I guess it was this morning. It was a couple hours ago, before noon. So she called me a few hours ago, and our daughter is running a 102-degree fever. So I hope everything's all right with her. You know, going into the night. Hopefully that fever will come down. We might have to take her to the urgent care if it doesn't. Hopefully everything is good with her, and we'll find out. But I was also thinking more about what I want to do with this YouTube channel. I was about to say podcast, but I still haven't committed it to an audio form. And how I want to interview somebody. You know, it would be cool. I would talk to my boss. You know, and I was thinking about questions that I could ask him. You know, how'd you get started? And just get the story, the backstory. Get the backstory on, you know, what it was like for him growing up. Like, what was your dad doing? Because it's a father-son company. So there's senior and junior, and they started the company together. But I don't really know the whole story. But I'm sure it's interesting, and there's a lot to be learned from anybody who's successful in business. And so I think that would be really great, and it would provide value to people to get some insight into how to build a successful garbage company, and for that matter, any company. You know, you could take a lot of what they know and apply it to all businesses. Because there's a lot of aspects that definitely translate into other industries. Wow, I should have went around all these cars. All of them were turning in there. I'm turning up here. They were turning right there. I should have went around them. Whatever. I'm not in a rush. But yeah, getting the backstory, getting like, hey, you know, like what's your routine? What's the like the seven habits of successful people? Like, what are your habits that you feel that have attributed to your success? What kind of habits? What are your good habits that have attributed to your success? Questions like that, you know, and then just letting him talk. Getting junior and senior, that could be 2 separate episodes or more. I don't know. I think that would be cool, man. And then just talking to all kinds of different people. The same way Joe Rogan started his podcast, because I think it's so cool how he gets people of all different types in there. And it started out with just his comic buddies, you know? And I could start out with guys that I know, guys that I work with, people that I meet out on the street, people who are willing to just sit down and chat about anything, man, and people who are interesting. And pretty much everyone is interesting, right? That's why I thought I could get on here, because, you know, I'm kind of unremarkable. I'm a average Joe, right? But I still have interesting things to say, I think. Not if you judge by the YouTube view count. Not if you're judging by the view count that I've got on here, but that's just because the channel's brand new. I think this is, today makes a week. Today makes a week, because the first video says 6 days ago, which just means that it's almost 7 days old. So I think today is the 7th day. Yeah. What day of the week did I start it on? Was it a Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday? Something like that. But it's fun, man. I like recording these videos and putting them online, even though they're not really getting views at all. But you know, I haven't really done anything to promote the channel either. So I was thinking about doing something on a subject and then linking one of my videos in comments on other people talking about it. Like, hey, if you like this guy's take, here's a rebuttal or something like that. Like, what's something that I could, like, hey, for my video response to this thing, go here. I have a response to this, and then link the video and that. So I'm just thinking about marketing techniques. How can I drive eyes to this channel? Because I have to do that, or else this thing's never going to grow. So maybe I could take a video, and that's definitely not a new idea. You guys know Upchurch. He does it to channels that are smaller than his, but I think, you know, just what he does with his videos, because he'll take another video and then just edit himself into it as a response to a video. But I want to do it in a little less formal way, or, you know, not all that editing. That's a lot of editing that he does. But a similar thing, just making response videos. And then also my own videos, but just on a subject with somebody that maybe I agree with them, maybe I disagree with them, maybe I have like a nuanced point that I want to put out there. Like, hey, you know, you got this right, but I mean, you missed it on this small detail. Check this out. Maybe, you know, maybe we would agree. Like, you just missed this one point or something like that. I don't know. I'm really getting into the weeds explaining myself. My wife tells me that I do that a lot, that I over-explain myself. But I tell her that I'm just trying to be really clear, because I hate miscommunications. Problems that arise out of miscommunication drive me crazy, because they're so unavoidable. They're not unavoidable, they're so avoidable. You know? Yeah, you heard me wrong, or this or that. Oh yeah, nice. That was, the lady just got out of her car, and I was like, oh, what's going on over here? But she was just letting the person behind her know that they've got a headlight out. That was nice of her. And she was back in her car by the time the light turned green. That's good. But yeah, I guess I over-explained myself. So I guess I gotta work on that. But maybe I'll talk to get on a Facebook group and be like, hey man, you wanna, anybody do anything interesting? Like, I wanna just talk to you, and like let me videotape it and put it on YouTube. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing. You guys stay awesome. Whatever.